Namaste, Soul Circle! I'm Steven.
I'm Candice.
And we're from Arcana, Mind, Body, Spirit, located in Toronto, Canada.
Today, we are discussing our 7th energetic point, the Crown Chakra. We will be exploring the principles and asking each other prompts based on where we feel we are at within our Crown Chakras. Questions such as, do you allow your own beauty to shine? Is a higher source present in your life? And others pertaining to our psychological maturity and spirituality. Lastly, we will give you methods of improving and working to heal your energetic relationship with the Crown Chakra.
So, before we get started, be sure to hit like and subscribe and that notification bell to be sure that you don't miss any of our other videos this week in order to really unlock the potential in your crown. You ready?
Let's do it! The Crown Chakra, in its original Sanskrit name, is known as Sahasrara, which in English translates to 1,000 petals. That's because the image related to the chakra is composed of a circle with 1,000 petals and is represented by the color violet and white for purity. Violet is connected to spirituality, said to be the strongest vibration of color streams, symbolic of rebirth, radiance, wholeness, release, and transformation. Violet is also the color of mysticism, ritual, and magic. It holds balance, being made up of both warmth and cold tones, working to bring the same balance and flow of all the chakras and your mental health.
The Crown Chakra is definitely the most spiritual of all the chakras. Consider it to be the bridge to the higher realms, the heavens, spirituality. Located just above the crown of your head, sitting up straight, you can imagine a hole at the top of your head running like a straight line down your body to the first chakra, your root chakra. Therefore, the root and the crown are at the chakra system extremities. The crown chakra is connected to the pituitary gland, the hypothalamus, and the pineal, working together in order to regulate the endocrine system. As well, it is associated with the brain and nervous systems because of where it's located.
Let's talk more about the Crown Chakra and the pineal gland. The gland is located at the top of your head and looks similar to your eyes' cones and rods, which are the photoreceptors of the retina. It controls your sleep patterns, menstrual cycles, and conveys the information from your external environment's cycles of light and dark, producing and secreting melatonin at night.
In certain Eastern practices to activate and focus on the pineal gland, you can reach higher levels of your mind and spirituality, increasing a sense of connection and flow to all things. We can begin to activate the pineal gland through things like meditation, yoga, and of course, self-growth through looking inwards and understanding just who you are. Know thyself.
Oh yeah. The mantra associated with the Crown Chakra is I know or I understand, and associated with the sound Om, allowing us to take pause and connect to the beginning, middle, and end of all things encompassed within the universe, using the sound Om.
At its most fundamental level, the Crown Chakra holds the qualities of oneness with the universe, its grace, beauty, and knowing a higher active presence of goddess or god or higher source in your life. Those who work with elements associated with the Crown Chakra may look forward towards focusing their energies on, number 1, surrendering to the divine and understanding your oneness and your connection, your spiritual nature, and your awareness of the path you lead through the senses of your higher consciousness.
Yeah. Next, seeking wisdom. Self-awareness and illumination, and understanding that there are many ways to reach a connection to Creator and the higher realms. Whatever you call it, all paths of love and truth lead to the same place, as we are all connected.
You're also going to end up focusing on your consciousness, your spirituality, and even your intuition.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, connecting with what is not a tangible object, but rather all that is beyond, looking in your higher self and letting go of wanting to connect with human and human society made things.
You're also going to end up letting go of limitations that you put on yourself. Limits based on time, space, and created through your own thoughts. You are not separate. You are not alone.
If you are in an overactive state with your crown chakra, it means your chakra is in overdrive with too much energy flowing directly into one place. When this chakra is overactive, it greatly affects your overall well-being, as this energy is what crowns you. Oftentimes what will happen is you'll be in a state of disconnect from your physical body and have difficulty staying grounded. Head in the clouds without a root system to keep you in touch with your earthly environment and relationships. It can be really hard. With that type of disconnect, feelings of elitism can really come to the surface. Yeah, it can become almost like a godlike complex or a spiritual addiction, acting and pushing superiority over others and a disillusioned sense of deservingness. Other signs are lacking empathy, not caring about what is happening around you, low motivation to participate in earthly going-ons in your life and your relationships, and an overall sense of superiority. There's also depression, insomnia, difficulty falling asleep and staying asleep, hypersomnia, which is an extreme need to sleep in the day, mental fogginess, confusion, and fixating on certain thoughts.
Now, if there's a deficiency or a block in your crown chakra, it's like putting stress on your body and mind because of the disturbance in your energy flow. When this happens to your crown chakra, you might find yourself struggling to find purpose in your life, wondering what is the point to anything. Socializing becomes difficult because connecting to other people and experiences in general have no root systems. Therefore, everything becomes almost pointless. Life begins to feel isolated. And I know this sounds pretty pessimistic. Well, yeah, that's exactly what happens. There's going to be lack everywhere, and you're going to have difficulty learning. You're going to have trouble with desire, and the need to pursue newness and knowledge just aren't going to be there anymore. A blocked crown chakra can also mean an overactive lower chakra. It could also mean there's mental fog, greed, jealousy, self-destructive behaviors. You're going to have zero trust in the universe, and any sense of any higher power won't really come to you naturally.
Yeah. The physical symptoms that may show up with an overactive or blocked crown chakra are weakened muscles, even so much as muscular atrophy, neurological conditions, nerve issues that can be as extreme as numbness or a loss of dexterity. Your senses may dull, colors may not seem as bright, smells not as strong, tastes will be lacking, textures not appealing. Other symptoms include headaches, consistently attracting drama into your life, difficulty staying in the moment, and not being able to see past yourself, making your world very small.
You must have a desire to change and stay motivated to do the work. Through self-reflection, you can find health and balance within your crown chakra. Once we are in balance, we can be in a state of empathy and compassion. You'll begin loving yourself and have a sense of peace along with a deeper connection and appreciation for all the energies, relationships, and to all the beauty that surrounds us.
So let's uncover our relationship, Stephen, with our crown chakra.
All right.
Soul search time.
Let's do it.
Feel free to comment with your responses to the questions, or if you have any other questions that you want to put in the comments below. Love to hear from you. All right.
All right, so I am going to put you on the hot seat. So, question number 1. Let's soul search. All right, Candice. Do you believe in a higher power? When did you start? And what do you call it?
I do believe in a higher power. I feel like around other people, I would say like higher source or the universe. I try to not identify with gender names. But I feel like when I'm alone, for me, I say God because I know alone it's not part of a patriarchal religion or anything like that. So for me, alone, in my private practice or in my mind, I can use that word and it doesn't have any association to any of
There's
those
no
things.
connotation.
Yeah. But if I say that out loud to certain people, then they have certain assumptions or have different feelings come up for them. But I say God. And when I must have been, I feel like there was a chunk of time in my life where I was probably atheist and chose not to believe anything. But that comes with like just kind of feeling a little bit lost in spaces that I was in and just the way that my life was at that time. And then I think probably a year or two after trauma, being sexually assaulted. Again, I had not disclosed this time, but I think there was a moment where I was trying to look for something. I was looking for something to try and relieve the things that were happening within myself. And I picked up the book A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle.
Yes.
And I went island hopping in Greece with two of my friends, and I was reading that book, and I was in Greece, and I remember reading the Know Thyself portion where he talks about the oracle, and I was just kind of like had this realization around so much amazing beauty and stuff where I was, and I was like, okay, there's gotta be
place to read that.
Yeah, I'm like, there's gotta be more. There's gotta be more to this, and I wanted more. And I think that would spark something in me, but I don't think I was quite ready because I knew that if I went down that road, it would mean disclosure of things in my life.
There was work that...
And I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't ready for it. Not yet, anyway, so, yeah. I think that answers the whole question.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about you?
Absolutely believe there's a higher power. I've struggled with naming, like just giving a name to it for so long. I was raised Roman Catholic, and for me there was a lot of distrust there when it comes to being gay and being told by practitioners in the community about how that was wrong. And so I think and I'm not the only person who's ever gone through that. A lot of the gay community has gone through that sort of push before. And that didn't change how I felt about sort of the mysteries of the world and the mystery teachings. Like we have to have come from somewhere. There has to be something. So it always kept me curious. But I also think I did go through a big period, like you said, of atheism. But at the same time, I was still practicing things like tarot and like crystals, and I was still like using the tools, but I'm not sure what I was identifying with. And then slowly it started trickling back into my life with how much I revered nature and how much I loved trees and how much I loved the ocean and how much I loved, like I could just see there was so much majesty around me, and that somehow got me more interested in the universal power and the source energy or what have you. But I've always felt for sure there was something, but there were periods in my life where I felt disconnected from it versus how connected I feel now. Yeah. Okay, question number 2.
All right.
Do you have a hard time connecting with those who don't believe in a higher source?
No, I don't. I think I have a harder time connecting with people who are going to be ignorant or dismissive of my personal choices and what I believe in. You don't have to believe in what I believe in. I don't have to believe in what you believe in. No. As long as you're not being ignorant, hateful, harmful, dismissive, gaslighting, whatever.
Yeah.
If you're not any of those things, I really don't care what you believe in.
Yeah.
As long as you're not hurting anybody or, you know what I mean? Like, I'm talking within sense here.
Yeah, and when someone becomes fundamentalist and it ends up, like, becoming a reason why they make bad choices in the name of stuff, of course, that's... that's not... No one benefits from that.
I mean, there are things that... I think if I am not so specific, like, is it hard for me to be around people who don't believe in self-work? Do I find it hard to be around people who think that they can just keep doing the same thing that they've always been doing, destructive as it might be, and never change or never grow, and just think, oh, no, I'm just like that? Yeah, that's hard for me to be around.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to be around people like that.
Right.
So there's like kind of a little bit of difference there. Like I definitely like, you can be atheist and we can hang. Like I'm down.
Yeah.
You could be whatever, I'm down. But if you're just going to be a goof who's just going to be,
with
you
no
know,
growth
and just stagnant, like just like letting life pass you by, I'm not going to hang around for that. I have no interest in that. It's very unappealing.
Yeah. I think I feel the exact same as you. The one sort of grouping that I do have trouble with is if someone believes in absolutely nothing and they make their choices based around not having faith in anything.
Mm-hmm.
In my past, I've had a lot of trouble with that because kind of like what you're saying, I don't want to be a part of that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need you to be getting on your knees and praying to something or someone or doing something. But there's a certain, I don't know if the word is darkness, but there's something that feels very empty and it's very hard on me somehow. Like empathetically, it's very easy for me to get pulled down around that energy. So in my life, I've often, I subconsciously maybe push those sort of people away.
Yeah, I mean, if I look at the people in my life, I don't have anyone in my life who doesn't believe in a higher self.
Right,
so
yeah.
Probably
everyone sort of has some kind of...
And the people who don't, the people who are the stagnant, again, there's a difference between, you can be really motivated and person living a great life and be completely atheist and whatever. That's fine. But at some point, we're going to run out of probably things to talk about.
Right?
Yeah. Or you're going to get annoyed of me talking about this stuff. So everyone in my life who's close to me is into this. And if they're not, eventually kind of the relationships fade.
Yeah.
Or they're just smaller in my life.
Yeah. I really think it does come along with kind of the word faith. If you don't have faith in something, at least have faith in yourself. Have faith in something. Have a... Like, there has to be some form of that verb.
Yeah.
Of, like...
Yeah.
Like, it's... Yeah, faith.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so question number 3. What pushed you into your spiritual awakening?
Okay. So when I was with someone, the first person I disclosed to, this person was very spiritual. They were raised that way. They're indigenous. They had a lot of ritual and practice, crystals, smudging, cleansing, different, like, I had no idea about any of those things, and I've got to do that, going to spiritual healers, all different kinds of modalities that I had never been exposed to, was a part of his life since childhood. Fasting even, dietary things, all different kinds of stuff, essential oils, herbs, and different kinds of medicine, and all kinds of stuff.
Which is actually so many things that we practice now.
No, definitely. It definitely is. And so that was a huge part of my spiritual awakening, was being aware of that and disclosing to this person and finally opening Pandora's box, because that's exactly what it was for me. Doing that, I then had all of these tools, meditation and stuff, things that I like literally had not, like I had done mildly or known about, but they weren't a part of my every single day. Yeah. And this became prayer, and like we had pictures of angels and spirit that we had. It was a lot. We were really, really, really heavy into it. And that kind of, I opened Pandora's box for myself, and then I had all of that going on. So there was a lot there. It actually became a source of like abuse in our relationship, and became kind of toxic. So I had to take a step back from that, and I focused just on like healing through like therapy and different things. And I held on to some of the tools, but I kind of closed off from that. So I feel like I've had 2 spiritual awakenings in my life. I had that initial one, and then I had another when I felt ready to step back into my spirituality, independent of the gaslighting and abuse that came with where I was before. So I kind of had to start all over again and go very slowly. There were a lot of things that were a huge trigger for me, and I had to move very, very slowly through all of it. And I feel like now I'm definitely in my spirituality, and it's definitely my own.
You're embodying it, and it's sort
sure.
of the version that is most helpful for you. And when I see how much you've grown over the course of your spiritual growth over the last little while, is incredible.
Yeah.
It's really awesome to watch you go on this journey. Okay, so when you went through all of this, did you notice any specific changes in your life?
Yeah, for sure. Well, for the first time, because it was kind of within this toxic relationship, it was kind of overactive, which we kind of discussed earlier in the video. So it was a sense of superiority of other people and isolating ourselves from other people. Like, they're just not going to understand. It became like us versus the world type thing. And it became like, if I don't have these, and like almost being obsessed with like certain things, like if I don't do this, or I don't have that, or I don't, pray in this way, or meditate for this thing, or believe this one thing, or whatever it is, like I can't get there. There's only one way to get there, and it's this way, and it was very toxic. So I noticed definitely an isolation from people, hiding my spirituality, or hiding the things that we were working on and stuff, because I just didn't think anyone would understand it. Like, it was, I don't know if it was necessarily like I fully felt like they weren't able to understand it, or they just wouldn't get it, and I would kind of feel shameful. So, and then now it's like totally different. Like,
now you have a YouTube channel.
I have a YouTube channel telling the whole world about what I believe in and everything that's ever happened to me in my whole freaking life. But which is fine. But so now I feel really comfortable with it. I'm comfortable not knowing something. I'm not seeking anything that isn't coming to me because I'm asking to know or looking for it, or if it comes to me organically, I'm open and I'm accepting of it. I'm not forced or in some sort of someone else's spiritual guidelines. I'm in my own space and just open and empowered by it. And I feel like I've been able to do a lot of healthy work. I've regained a lot of relationships that I isolated myself from.
That's awesome.
I definitely feel more connected to myself, to people around me, to nature, to life. It's not me versus the world. It's me connected to the world. So I think it absolutely changes the way I go about everything. Yeah. So what about you? Okay. What pushed you into your spiritual awakening?
Well, this is something I'm not sure I've actually disclosed on Arcana before, but let me take it back a bit. So as a teenager, I was very much a Gemini. I had like multiple lives, literally all taking place at the same time. I had like my girlfriend and her friends and my boyfriend and his friends, and I just got used to living so, it was almost very fast-paced and juggling and fake, and it was just like my home life was a mess, and everything was just always like a series of like plays that was being put on, everything just felt, and I got so used to this, and my life just kept going faster and faster. And by the time I got to college, even my college program was fast. It was a 4-year program done in like, I think it was not even 2 years. There was no summers. There was like 6 days a week. It was 10-hour days. Like, it was crazy. Like, my whole life was just sort of this fast-paced, like, even my best friend at the time, who's still a part of my life, he, like, I'm sure he knew I was gay, but like it wasn't something we were talking about. It wasn't like a disclosed conversation. Like it's not that I was hiding. I mean, I was hiding things. I wasn't lying to his face. He just like didn't talk about it, and I didn't talk about it. But he was like my closest friend. Anyway, so this is kind of what my life looked like, and as we got closer to the end of the program, one of my best friends in my life was diagnosed with leukemia. And it was so fast. Like, I remember being at a party and she had bruises starting to appear and she was like getting ready to go to New York and audition for all this stuff. Like, she was a beautiful dancer and everything. And her life just, I mean, it came to a screeching halt. Mm-hmm. And we all just watched her. It just got very bad very quick. And I just fell apart. My whole life fell apart. And because everything had just been like a very carefully orchestrated like play in my life, mm-hmm. I just couldn't do anything anymore. And I just watched so many versions, like all these friends disappear from my life, and at the same time a bunch of different people show up for me in my life. Mm-hmm. Anyways, a bunch of things happened, and right as she actually, like, they had to put her in a coma, and they were telling us that she was going to die. And right as she came out of this, she was telling me about how, like, I kept being like, where were you? Like, what was it? Were you in heaven? What were you doing? She was like, I remember being on stage and I was dancing, and there was a spotlight on me that was just so bright. Mm-hmm. And I could hear that the people I loved were like clapping for me and they were there for me. And I guess that's maybe when you guys were visiting me and talking to me. I don't really know. But I know that I was in a place where I was getting to do what I loved the most, and the people that I loved the most were there supporting me. Mm-hmm. And for me to like hear something from like someone who's literally like right at the edge of the veil, like about to go, mm-hmm. that there was something so beautiful, and to me it changed my life forever. And then right as that happened, I ended up taking a job of hers that was in Miami, which ended up moving me to Mexico, which is where I met my husband, which is where I started my career, which is where, like, my whole life, it was like a turning point. Mm-hmm. I went from like having a billion different lives and being a billion different people, and then all of a sudden I had like a year of like healing in Mexico. Mm-hmm. And then I came back and I was like a new person, and I saw things differently, and I remember like dreaming better, and I was just more appreciative of everything around me. And then it was just slowly integrating things like lessons from my youth, from my grandmother, and just everything had more meaning because I was authentically me. Yeah. So I guess that also answers the changes I noticed in my life, because the people who I was surrounded by were like the people who I met as I got back there. Like, you're one of them. The people who I met after that have been in my, like, they're the chosen family. They've been in my life. The same, 20 people have been like consistently in my life through ups and downs for so much of it, So, and I've been happier. I've been committed to my job, committed to my husband, where before I couldn't even commit to a conversation with people, and it all changed at that instant. Yeah. So that was my turning point.
Oh, life. This thing called life.
So, let's talk about ways that we can heal our crown chakra, shall we?
Let's talk about it. Number 1, aromatherapy. So, aromatherapy helps to restore balance by using essential oils to uplift and inspire our mood and minds, especially when you put it directly on the crown of your head. You should try some lavender, frankincense, sandalwood, rose, jasmine, and citrus flavors, or scents rather.
Method number 2 is going to be to get outside into nature. This chakra connects you. So get out there and connect to the universe. Hike, see the world from higher heights. Remind yourself that we are all connected.
And number 3, yoga. So a great pose for the chakra is the lotus, tree pose, supported headstands, rabbit, and cow pose, and savasana. Number 5, healing crystals, as I grip my healing crystal. So once for this chakra, clear quartz for restoring balance is a powerful stone for the chakra, as well as amethyst because of its connection to spirituality and clarity. Alexandrite because it stimulates the psychic and clairvoyant gifts within us.
That's why I wear quartz every single day. Method number 6 is affirmations. You're going to use your affirmations to break down any negative thought process that you have. You want to say things that affirm that you are a part of the universe. You are at one with all that there is. You are at peace with the world and everything around you.
Mm-hmm. Number 7, journaling. I love this one personally. Writing down the things that are holding you back, releasing materialistic blocks.
Which actually is a lot like method number 8. It is letting go. It really is important to let go because it's the beginning of the process of trusting the universe. Mm-hmm. Use visuals and some of the previous listed things like meditations and journaling to help this.
Mm-hmm. And method number 9, regulate your sleep cycle. Because of the connection to the pineal gland, aka controlling the melatonin release, it's important to connect our circadian rhythm, which is your internal body clock. So go to bed early, and if you can rise with the sun, do it. So we have our archetype. So the positive one is called the guru, right? So they acknowledge divine source. They are connected to the universe. They are able to be open, receive messages. They believe and accept and look for the divine in everything around them. Then you have the egotist, which is the negative archetype. And this person, their ego is huge. They have a superiority issue, possibly even a God complex within themselves. They're boastful, they can be ungrateful and arrogant.
So this was our crown chakra. Gosh, I can't believe we've made it through all of the chakras.
I'm gonna miss talking about the chakras.
Me too. Please leave any comments below about what your relationship is like with your crown chakra, different ways that you work on your crown chakra. And if you haven't had a chance, please go back and look at some of our other material that we have about discovering each of our chakras and how you can work on it. I think each of us have some work somewhere in some of our chakras.
Absolutely.
Some of us have a few to work on.
100%. Yes.
So be sure to hit like and subscribe because you don't want to miss out on anything that is coming up next month. We're actually going to be working on our moon cycles next month. We're going to be having an information on Mondays based on the different moon cycles and what takes place. On Wednesdays, we're going to be talking about what your moon sign is. So that's going to be awesome. Make sure you pull your natal chart. That is a service that we offer at Arcana, in case you're interested. And then on Friday, we're going to be starting our goddess series. So we're going to be talking about some of the goddesses that are associated with the moon, as well as some other goddesses that we love to use in some of our practices. I think we're good here.
I can't wait to get started on the goddess stuff.
I know, it's going to be so good, right? It's going to be good. All right, namaste.
Much love.